Please, Agnese, the stage is yours.
Thank you. Okay, I have nothing underneath me. Great, so I come like a blank page. Perfect. So I wanted to help Yuris to wrap up all this great thing that we've been all come together. I know that you are very tired. I just have some pictures to show and some comments underneath, okay? So please bear with me. So my little story here is titled, Is He Real? And just to tell who am I, so I have quite some experience in writing, but not writing books, but more like in journalism. And so recently I started together with my team this Benji Knewman bookazine that has been noted here before me. But let's do the thing. So this is me. I am 8 years old here. And this is kind of my first day to school. And next to me is my little sister. And so my father took this picture of us in early morning. So a little bit later, when I was some 9 years old, I was invited to take part or to attend a group of girls who were practicing rhythmic gymnastics. So I said yes. This little girl here wearing glasses said yes and started to go there, take classes every working day for 3 hours per day. And so this is me actually doing the thing and participating in local championships in Liepāja city. At the time, I guess I'm some 12 years old there, and I had two things on my mind. First one was to remember my routine, because always when I actually stepped out there to be in front of everybody, I forgot what I had to do, and I invented completely new routine on the spot, like this, the way I work. And another thing on my mind was when finally I will start to grow some boobies, because really girls in my class were really forward and I was still there bearing with me. Sometime forward, like some 20 years or so, me and my team, we came up with this idea to put together a bookazine, or like a magazine that is published twice a year and looks like a book, and so that's why it's called bookazine. Bilingual magazine titled Benji Knewman that could be made here, made in Riga, but curated for the world. So that's why it's bilingual. It's English-Latvian. And there are some covers, so that was the very first one we printed and published in autumn 2014. The thing on the cover is actually, some guys could tell that it's actually a beard. And at the time when it was published on our online page, you could actually shave that beard with the mouse, in the click of a mouse. And some guys told us if only that would be that easy in real life. Really, I can understand that. And so then came the second issue, the third, and just the very, very new one that we opened some 2 weeks ago in London, and we are gonna do a late opening tomorrow here in Riga. And that's actually Baryshnikov there on the cover. So this is how it looks like, and about the bilingual part, so this is how it goes, that we have both in English and in Latvian, and many Latvians, when I talk about the thing I do, they ask me, so is it actually so that the thing as it is printed in both English and Latvian, and does it go so worldwide? Because why would anybody care about Latvian there, right? But the thing is that it actually goes like it is here. It's printed in one way, in one fashion, and that goes to the countries, to all of these countries, like 22 in total. And people are reading the bookazine in the language they can, and just enjoy that there is this exotic language next to it, even though they don't understand it, but because you just get the flair that there's this weird place somewhere in the world called Latvia and Riga, and you know, they make this thing. Okay, great, right? So on the cover, it says, life that you can read. Many people always ask me, yeah, but what really your thing is, what it really is about, because it's not fashion, it's not sports, it's not animals. And I say, you know, that thing we both do, live, they are still puzzled, and they are like, yeah, but how do you write about that, right? And so that is one thing they ask. Then there is another one. It's about the title, about the name of the bookazine, right? They ask me, so who is Benji Knewman? So I answer, this is an excerpt from our online page, from our website, where it says that Benji Knewman is a man around this years old. As you can see, he's coming from, his roots are here in Latvia, but he comes from an English-speaking country, so that's why the publication is bilingual. And so then comes the question, yeah, right, but is he real? It's really funny that people all ask this question here, but they don't ask that question elsewhere, and I will show you where. So I was sitting in this restaurant, a Chinese restaurant in Daugavpils, this other holiday weekend. So it's placed in a shopping center. In the corner of it, you can see the plastic ceiling and everything. Girls come up to me and serve me in this Chinese costume, and I get Chinese food and everything. Does anybody ask, is this real? It's like Chinese restaurant in a shopping center in Daugavpils, right? So then comes these pictures on Instagram. Is anybody asking those curated, really nice-looking pictures with this perfect life, is this real? Because, you know, isn't it? Or this thing, right? Everybody with their fit figures and, you know, perfect lifestyles, and they can do everything well. You, as a watcher or reader, you can't do anything about it, and you feel like a loser, right? And so, of course, the old story about Photoshop, right? Because we all know that it isn't really possible for a, you know, all honor of mine to Madonna, but you can't really look as good as here on the right side. So people and us, we don't really doubt it that is this real, but they do doubt it that Benji Knewman is real. So let's talk about then what is real to me and why Benji Knewman is real in its concept. So look at this and think, is this really a job ad? Could it be one? Because, you know, it kind of looks like a joke, right? I hope everybody can read it. You know, people are asked to join a team where you can get killed, right? But it's actually a real job ad in the beginning of 20th century, and it was put by Sir Ernest Shackleton, the big legendary British explorer, and he was putting together a team to go to Antarctica. And he went there with those people he got from this ad, and his ship actually stuck there for 9 months in the field of ice. But because of that ad, where actual real people came to his team who were ready to, you know, to die and to kind of do it together, this event ended up happily because none of the team members were eaten alive. As you know, they do it when, you know, these things happen. And it's all because the ad was actually a real one, because he wasn't really promising big money and a really nice team and insurance and whatever, all they're promising you in common job ads. And then let's move on to some other guy, Joseph here. He was, and still is hero of our first issue of Benji Knewman. And he's a retired teacher and a beekeeper, and he lives in an old people's home in Tesvaine. And at Benji, we do so that we meet with people that, who look interesting to us, but then we let them speak what they want to talk about. And so Joseph here, who is 86, he wanted to talk about his girlfriends, current ones. The thing is, he's using all his mobile phone credit, as you can see, chatting with girls. And I had some hour or so a talk with him, and it was really great. He was talking about sex in his age, and how when he was younger, around 40, he didn't really believe that people that old as he is now would actually make sex, and on and on, and about love and so on. But it ended so, the conversation, he says that in 2 days he has a meeting with a girl he met over phone or over meeting ad in a magazine. So he says that as she knows only my voice, and he says that girls like his voice, and he actually has a really great voice, is that he's afraid that when he meet her, she will not like him. And that was a really good point to end this conversation with him, because it proved once again that it doesn't really matter, are you 14, 30, or 86, you still get that human, you are just this human who is afraid that the other, the opposite gender or the same gender, whatever, that this person won't really like you. And then there is another story from our second issue, and this is Gunnars Binde, a legendary Latvian photographer. And I invited Kristīna Garklava, who is a TV presenter here in Latvia and also an avid photographer herself, to interview him. And so, this one day I'm in Sweden, I get a call from Kristīna. It's 2 o'clock it's like daytime. And I pick it up, I know the interview has been passed, and she says, "Hello, Kleina," she asked for last name, and I can hear that she's tipsy. It's 2 o'clock in the day, right? And she says, "The interview has passed well," and I say, "Yeah, I can hear that." She says, "Yes, you know, we got like a little glass and everything, and so everything, all is fine." And she says, "You know that you asked me to actually take pictures of him, and you can imagine if you are, for example, a starting singer, and you meet the Rolling Stones, and the Rolling Stones leader asks, 'Sing me something, baby.' So how really courageous you are, and actually to do it then and now, right?" But Kristīna agreed to me, and now on the telephone call she says me, "But you know what? You know that Gunnars, he's actually good, not in these kind of pictures, the floating ones, where Photoshop is not used, and it's in the 90s, 70s, but he is really good and legendary because of his nudes, right? He takes pictures of naked girls." And so Kristīna says that Gunnars agreed to pose for me only if I pose for him first. And I say, "Isn't that legendary, right? You will get a famous picture taken." And she says, "Yes, Kleina." And then I go to an exhibition and I get myself full frontal. What do you say about that? So we giggled about that and everything, and I don't know how that story ended with her posing for him, but this is what we get for the magazine. Right. There's another story is that as happy and giggly he is here, Kristīna told me afterwards that it actually was kind of she didn't ask him to disrobe himself. That was kind of his own artistic point of actually stepping into the skin of his models and the skin of a woman. Right. And so then Baryshnikov here for the newest issue, number 4. So we interviewed him in Tel Aviv, in Israel, because he was there at the time because the roadshow of the theater here, the piece Brodskis and Baryshnikovs were starting there in Tel Aviv. This is the first time abroad. And so our girl Esther, she flew there, and the Thursday's morning, 10 o'clock in the morning, she had the interview time set, and she was to meet him in his hotel room. That's actually there in the background. So she goes there, and he meets her, and of course that's like a legendary thing to happen, right? The girl she's 24, and she's a student of arts in London, and she's really into Baryshnikov and his opinions about art, about everything. She watched the theater the last night, and shows she's really overwhelmed. Instead, Baryshnikov is really grumpy, because he's fucking tired, right? He had to work the last night. He's 68 years old. And whatever this girl comes up and she wants to talk again, right? And he actually has his back hurts, and really nobody would really want to interview a man or a woman in this state of mind. But Esther had no choice because she had flown there from London, and I was expecting the news, how the interview went, and so on and so on. And then after the interview, 10 minutes after, she calls me and she explains me how it all went, how it actually started, that Baryshnikov wasn't really so keen to talk to her. And if you read the interview, you can feel it for yourselves, because the questions goes like this, and then Baryshnikov snaps with one word. And my question goes, it's like really nice questions, and it's like snap. And so imagine yourself in the skin of this girl, right? But then somehow she decides that fuck this, right, in her mind, not to him. She's like, because her father is at the same age, and she can really see that Baryshnikov is behaving himself just like her father when he is ill, right? He's taken ill, and he's just grumpy as you are and we are when we are just not feeling right. And so she's in her mind, she she decides to keep on doing the thing and to behave with him just like a human being. And surprisingly and happily, Baryshnikov picks it up, and you can see in the interview it kind of breaks in the middle, where he actually understands that the girl next to him and in front of him is actually interested about him and knows more than that he has been a ballet dancer and he's a famous from Sex and the City TV series, right? And so then the story goes on, and it actually unwraps so that the interview is actually happened, and you can put that in a magazine. And then we put him even on the cover, and it's part of it is upside down because there's this twist there that you can experience in person. But why I wanted to end with this picture of myself and a sister there is that at the time when I was practicing rhythmic gymnastics, and I did that for 7 years, I had a really fierce woman taking care of us, being our coach, trainer. And she was a senior in her age, and so she was respected in Liepāja city and still is, and so on. And there was one thing I still remember, and I will always remember, that she taught us. And that was that whenever she had to take a toilet pause or just step out of the room where we were practicing, she said this one thing. She said, if you decide now to chat with yourself or just sit down and not do what you are supposed to do, remember that you are cheating only yourselves. You are robbing yourself of what you can actually do. And with this, I just wanted to end my presentation is that whatever you do, when you decide that you think that nobody will, because you are cheating, right, like this Instagram picture I just showed you, or whatever else, or you just feel that others are cheating that way, just remember that it doesn't matter what others are doing, but what us are doing to ourselves, because it doesn't matter if we are CEOs or just the tiniest team member of a big team. It's like if you cheat, you just rob yourself of being real. And with that being real, I guess my time here is up. Thank you very, very much.